Tucker decided to give Fox News a dose of its own medicine. You want to fight? You got one, is essentially what he said. He tried to take the high road for over 2 weeks as they smeared him and tried to ruin his reputation while muzzling him and hoping he would just sit back and take the check. And Tucker being Tucker, that was not acceptable to him. It's not just Tucker, don't forget. It's some of his staff, his executive producer, who, by the way, he's married and he has a husband who is in very poor health, which Fox knows. So that guy's been fired too, is dependent on his health insurance. There are all sorts of issues and there are all sorts of reasons why Tucker's ready to fight. He wanted to get his voice back out there. And finally last night, he began to. He posted a video on Twitter, which took the media world by storm. He posted it and provided a link to his news site, tuckercarlson.com.
You often hear people say the news is full of lies, but most of the time that's not exactly right. Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense. It could pass one of the media's own fact checks, but that doesn't make it true. It's not true. Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective. You are being manipulated. The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it. That's not a guess. It's guaranteed.
Kind of continued what Tucker said the other day about how you're being lied to by your media and certain voices are being silenced. I'll tell you this. I'm delighted to see what he's doing. I'm delighted that he's going to go out with his own show. People were a little confused on whether he's in a partnership with Elon Musk. He's not. He's just posting the show for now on Twitter. And then it will link, once he has his full show running, to, I think, tuckercarlson.com, which will be a subscription service. So right now, people are signing up to get the latest. And as Elon Musk has come out and said, we haven't signed a deal with Tucker. He's just utilizing the Twitter platform, which is smart because Twitter's better than ever. Conservatives feel welcome there now in a way they didn't before Elon. And it's a great way of reaching millions and millions of fans. So Tucker comes out with his video saying, I'm back. It's a 3-minute video. It's got tens of millions of views already, just a sign of what Fox News is in for. But the more interesting piece of all of this to me is the legal threat that Tucker, through his lawyer, Brian Friedman, who I've mentioned before, also represents me, made to Fox News late yesterday, but before Tucker's announcement. And Tucker's announcement will be treated as a breach of his deal by Fox, which, as you know, if you've been listening to this program, I've been urging him to do. I think it's a smart legal strategy given what they're doing to him. I mean, is he really supposed to sit out the 2024 presidential election? Okay, let's see what arbitrator's going to uphold that non-compete when he's given back the money and he's been fired by Fox. Okay, let's see. Fox knows it's vulnerable. Let's see. I mean, that's the most interesting thing of all to me in this case right now is, will they fight to enforce only the non-compete, which is what is at issue right now? The bullshit non-compete that we're forced to sign. These things are extremely controversial to begin with. They happen in many industries. It's not just media. It can be the beauty industry. It can be the fast food industry, where they try to get you to sign away your right to work for a competitor, even if they fire you. I mean, it's controversial enough if you just choose to leave. But if they fire you, you're not allowed to go to work for a competitor. You just have to sit out and not work. And there haven't been a lot of recent tests, especially in the media industry, on these under circumstances like these. Let me tell you who doesn't want to see non-competes struck down in the media industry. Fox. It does not want an arbitration award or a federal district court award saying you cannot get specific performance. You cannot enjoin Tucker Carlson from working Fox News under these circumstances where you fire him, not for cause. Keep in mind, Fox is not yet arguing they fired him for cause. He gives back the money, the benefit of the bargain that he was receiving. And so you've received your money back, you've kicked him off the air, and you get to silence him? Let's see. If he gets an award saying that non-compete needs to be thrown out, it's terrible for not just Fox, but all these media conglomerates. which use them wickedly against talent, high and low, well-known and not very well-known. People like me who, were on cable for 13 years and people who are just starting out, whose names you wouldn't know. They get you. They hold you, and it's unfair. So would love to see a fight over that. Do not predict Fox News will win. And even if they did win, how do they win their viewers back? That's the real question. How are they going to rebuild what's happening at 8 while the only fight is about whether they're trying to silence their favorite host, right? How does that happen? I want to watch it happen. Love to see it happen. I predict Fox settles this thing now. They're not going to take this to an arbitrator. They're not going to take this to a court. But that's what Tucker's threatening. So he writes, this is via Axios, which has seen the letter. He writes a threatening legal letter to to Fox, saying as follows: the non-compete provision in his contract is no longer valid. Fox breached the contract first. I've been saying this. I've been saying this all along. It's very clear. If they were behind these smears, and you know my reasoning for believing they are, it's a breach. It's a breach of what we call the covenant of good faith and fair dealing, which is built into every contract. And in the employment law context, what it means is an employer has the obligation, the contractual obligation, to deal honestly and fairly with the employee on the other end of the contract. Honestly and fairly with the employee who signed the contract. Is it honest and fair for a company to fire a man, silence a man, while day by day leaking his confidential moments and communications within the company when he was a faithful servant of the company? Is that honest? And is it fair? You can't say shit. Sorry, Tucker. You can say nothing. You will sit there silenced, or we'll say you breached. We, meanwhile, will call the New York Times. We'll call the Daily Beast. We'll call Media Matters. We'll call whoever the hell we want, and we will say whatever the hell we want about you. We'll say you're a racist. We'll say you're a misogynist. We will take the moments you trusted us to protect when you were on set, in commercial breaks, or gearing up for a hit or for your show, when you did not think you were on the air, but you trusted us to protect your on-camera but off-air moments with the confidentiality that we provide every other anchor. And we used it against you. Why? What did you do again? What was our justification? Oh, we just wanted to ruin you for future employment. That's what we wanted, to make sure you couldn't get another job after your 18-month stint on the sidelines ended. Oh, that's okay. Sure. Is that honest, fair treatment of an employee? That's what they're up against here in New York State, thanks to the covenant of good faith and fair dealing. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this. So the threat from Brian Friedman is Fox broke its promises to Tucker Carlson in that deal and beyond. Number one, they take aim at Irena Briganti, the head of the Fox Comms shop that we've been talking about on this show. They said that she has attempted to undermine, I'm quoting here, embarrass and interfere with Tucker Carlson's future business prospects, which he maintains would constitute another breach of his employment contract. Quote, make no mistake, we intend to subpoena Ms. Briganti's cell phone records and related documents which evidence communications with her and all media, including but not limited to the New York Times. Remember, I've been jumping up and down about that one New York Times piece that both revealed Tucker Carlson texts in the Dominion lawsuit, saying these were the real reason behind his termination, and happened to reference two of the ridiculous videos where Tucker's caught on camera during a commercial break. Who would have access to both of those? Dominion? No. Only one entity, and it's Fox News. And the leaks continued well beyond then. And their lawyer, Tucker's lawyer, appears to believe, just as I do, that the person behind those leaks is Irena Briganti. And there is a very educated reason to believe that she was behind it all. And now we'll find out, because guess what? There's no reporter privilege for her. I'm sure they'll try to get the New York Times reporters and say, who gave you this information? And the Times reporters will say, I'm not obligated to tell you that. I'm a reporter and I'll protect my source. She doesn't have that right. The one doing the leaks doesn't have the right to refuse to answer. So if they want to see this through, Brian Friedman and Tucker are going to see it all. Going to see Irena Briganti's texts, though I know from personal experience, she's smart enough not to text. She usually does her dirty work by phone. They're going to get all of her cell phone records. They are going to get her landline records. They are going to get her sitting in a deposition and say, who did you talk to? And she will have to tell them. They're going to get the Fox News executives under deposition, under oath, and say what was discussed, what was the plan, what were her marching orders, what did you do to stop it? Best case scenario for them right now is she was a rogue agent, or maybe let's say she didn't do it. Somebody else did it. Best case scenario is, why did you wait 2 weeks before you tried to stop anything? When we had 12, 13 leaks hurting Tucker's reputation. What did you do to protect your employee? What did you do to make sure that his confidential moments were protected? Nothing is going to be the answer. That's Fox's best case scenario. That's not a good look for Fox News in front of an arbitrator or a federal judge. And the reason they did nothing is because they liked it. They wanted him destroyed. This is their bread and butter playbook. Sure, you could go to Brazil or Colombia and get some work done to your face, but you don't need to do that. You see, you can make yourself look great right from the comfort of your own home thanks to Jennycell and the final week of their Mother's Day sale. Look years younger right before your eyes. Here's a real review from Jennycell.com. Claire writes, I absolutely love Jennycell. My skin feels so good, tighter, younger, with a more even tone. And I only used it for a week. My advice for everyone, take a before picture. Her husband Jim writes in saying he loved it too. Nothing works like Jennycell because it's a family recipe for over 20 years made by a compounding pharmacist in small batches and always safe, cruelty-free, and natural. Now, go to Jennycell.com/MK60 and save over 70% off Jennycell's most popular package. That's all their best stuff during their Mother's Day sale. Every most popular package features their ultra retinol and dark spot corrector on top of all the other good stuff. You get that as well. Don't wait. Go to Jennycell.com/MK60, Jennycell.com/MK60, and you will get a complimentary spa essentials box with every package order for just one more week, plus free upgrade to priority shipping. GENUCEL.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.